From as far back as 300 BC, depictions of Alexander the Great see him with a raised, slightly elevated gaze, an arresting detail that draws the eye and invites a deeper study into what he might be thinking about, what he is planning. The persistence of this physical depiction is undeniable, even to the ancients such as Plutarch. Then as now, anyone who stands before an Alexander immediately notes that his attention is directed elsewhere. It will not surprise you to know that this was no accident, but was a deliberate stylistic choice. In a military campaign spanning a mere 11 years, Alexander completely renovated Asia, Europe, and Africa. He not only brought the outermost regions of the world under Hellenic rule, but redefined what humans know to be possible. This effort required of him the spirit of adventure and exploration. One sculptor in particular was very keen to this trait that Alexander exhibited. This sculptor, Lysippus, and might I add he was Alexander's preferred and exclusive sculptor, modelled him very carefully, and where he did, Lysippus always fixed his gaze to look outward, toward unexplored, unconquered territories. Alexander always looks to the beyond, his ambition without any limit. But while he also looks outwards, he looks slightly upwards, and this was also deliberate. He is looking towards the heavens. His conquests are utterly divine. This is but one important aspect of the Alexandrian paradigm. It is one of few ways that artists have been able to express partisanship in his likeness. They persuade us of Alexander's greatness, and they render his face with this invincible power, something that no one could possibly come up against, least not of all a mortal being. The celebrated historian Plutarch praised Lysippus for this enchanted rendering that he was able to do time and time again. This is something that we find routinely recurring throughout depictions of Alexander, this expression of him looking upwards. These are works that are utterly breathtaking. There are few esteemed museums around the world that do not, in at least some small way, claim to have an Alexander. Plutarch says of this, for those peculiarities which many of his successors and friends afterwards tried to imitate, namely the poise of the neck, which was bent slightly to the left, and the melting glance of his eyes. This artist has accurately observed.